Hey, it's Adrian, and if your current desk setup just isn't working, or if you have a really large setup that can barely fit on your desk, you're going to want to stick around because I have the FlexiSpot E7 Plus standing desk. I also asked them to send me their 78-inch by 30-inch bamboo desktop material, and it looks so good in this combination. Thanks to its dual motors, the E7 Plus frame can handle up to 440 pounds of dynamic weight or 540 pounds of static weight. And thanks to the 3-stage adjustable legs, you can easily adjust the desk from as low as 26 inches all the way to a standing height of 51.6 inches using the handy included touch panel. There's built-in USB charging, an anti-collision feature, the ability to set up to 4 different programmed heights, and an impressive 15-year warranty on the frame, motor, and other mechanisms. This is probably the first and last standing desk you're ever going to need thanks to all the configuration and upgrade options. So let's take a closer look, and a big thanks to FlexiSpot for sending us out for review. The installation is fairly straightforward, so everything came nicely packed. I didn't have any damages, so there's 2 boxes for the legs and then 1 large box for the desktop material. Now it total about 150 pounds, so you may need help carrying this. Now what I highly recommend is that you are going to need a drill to install the frame once fully assembled to the desktop material, and especially if you have the bamboo desktop material, which is much harder, you really are going to need a drill to make your life easier. First, I placed some carpet down to not scratch everything, and I assembled the frame following along with the instruction manual, and there was a short YouTube video from FlexiSpot which was also really helpful. Once the frame was assembled, I went ahead and put the desktop material down, again protected so it doesn't get scratched. I laid the frame on top, marked out the holes, and then drilled using the supplied screws. Once the frame was connected to the desktop material, I connected all of the wiring and used some of the adhesive clips that were supplied to kind of route the wiring and keep it a little bit clean. Now you could do a better job than me, but overall I'm happy how it turned out. Just a quick heads up about the cable management tray. So you're not supposed to install it with it covering that cross beam there, but I've done that on purpose just because I don't want it, closer in here in case, anything hits it like my knee or something if I have the desk too low. So I've just positioned it that way, but I am going to be kind of limited if I do want to mount like a monitor arm there. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to mount a monitor arm, definitely install this a little bit further back. If you're placing the desk on an uneven floor, you could rotate the adjustment feet located at the bottom to equalize the heights till you get it perfectly level. So I'm just loving the look of the combination that I have, and what I like is that there's just so many types of options if you take a look at the FlexiSpot site. So I have the black frame, but you can of course get a white frame, and then they have a chipboard material. It comes in different colors. You have the bamboo material. There's also a bunch of other different materials, and they all have different sizes. There's some desks with built-in wireless charging. There's some desks with a little bit of a curve. So really there's something for everyone out there. So I asked for the largest size in the bamboo, which was 78 inches by 30 inches. However, I do believe they have an 80-inch by 35-inch option in another material. Maybe it's a chipboard. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. But basically, yeah, this will fit if you have, a really small compact setup, or if you want something really large like mine. So once you sort out the frame that you want and the desktop material, there's a bunch of additional upgrades or options that you could add on. So I got the under desk cable management tray, but there's also caster wheels if you want to just move the desk around. There's also pull-out drawers. I believe there's a foot hammock. You can choose accordingly. I'm also really happy that I went with the bamboo desktop material, and even though I subjected it to a ton of weight, 447 pounds or 203 kilograms, pretty much in the dead center, while it did flex, it did quickly rebound back, and there's no permanent damage or flexing at all. Let's take a look at how easy it is to make adjustments on here and to program it. So right now I can press down, and I stopped at 48.2 inches. Now what I can do is press up, and notice that when I get to the extreme range, which is 51.6, it's going to slow down so it doesn't overshoot. So just anytime you're getting to the extreme top or bottom range, it's going to slow down a little bit. Now to program it, it's really easy as well. So I'm going to press down here, and let's say for example I wanted my standing height to be 49.9. I'll just press the M, and then I'm just going to say, hey, this is now going to be 49.9, and then let's go up to say 51.1. I'll press M here, press 1, and now that is programmed for 51.1. So to recap, we'll press 2, it's going to go down slightly, 49.9, 1, 51.1. So you can set these 2 custom ones, and then you also have a standing distance or standing height and a sitting height as well. So what can you do with the 1 or 2? Well, you could use it for any other type of miscellaneous use, or if you share this desk with someone else, they can use 1 and 2 for their preferred sitting and standing heights. When you're adjusting between different heights, it's very stable and smooth, so you can have pretty much, a full cup of coffee or a glass of water. You don't have to worry about it kind of just jerking with an initial movement before it kind of smoothens out. It's just very smooth the entire way. And like I mentioned, when it gets to the extreme ranges, either the very top or the very bottom, it slows down a little bit and it comes to a nice smooth stop. Now, if you have kids and you're worried that they're going to play with this, you can easily activate a child lock by pressing and holding the M and waiting. And we can see the lock option. So child lock is enabled and nothing is going to work until you press and hold to deactivate it. There we go, and now we have control again. By the way, if you like leaving your workspace kind of minimal or clean, what you could do is just raise the desk to the maximum height and just kind of roll your chair right under the desk. By the way, if you're finding this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps me out, but let's jump back to it. The max adjustment speed is about 1 inch every second, but it's really going to depend on how heavy your desk setup is. Now, the bamboo material on mine at the size of 78 inches by 30 inches by itself, that already weighs 47 pounds. Now, when I have everything kind of set up to go from my preferred sitting height to standing height, it takes about 17 seconds. Now, if you're going to push the desk to the extreme range of 26 inches to 51.6 inches, you're looking at roughly, say, 30 seconds. All right, so I have my chair right here. I'm going to put it to the sitting position. And I'm not going to move the chair. The armrests on here are far too high and I can't actually adjust it lower on this specific chair. So the table is just going to hit that and then just stop. Or it's going to bounce back up by a little bit. So let's take a look. So it detected that something was in the way and it just lifted itself up a little bit just so it's not squeezing anything. So really handy feature. Now to access this, you're going to press the top and bottom arrows at the same time and it's going to cycle through levels 1 through 3 and then there's also level 0. So 3 is the most sensitive. As soon as it kind of detects something impeding movement, it's going to bounce back up. 1 is obviously going to be the least sensitive and you can set it to 0 if you just want to disable that feature totally. By the way, if you're wondering if it supports fast charging, it does. So I'm going to plug in the cable there. Take a look at my Z Fold 5 screen and it does confirm that fast charging is active. Let's talk about the rated weight, and I unknowingly pushed this beyond the rated capacity of 440 pounds. I actually pushed this to 447 pounds, and let me explain. So I had 3 of us sit on the desk, kind of just in the middle. I didn't even space us out to distribute the weight evenly, but it still did a fantastic job. Now, we're holding a sign that says 400 pounds. Actually, that should be 447 pounds because I didn't factor in the weight of the bamboo desktop material, which is 47 pounds since it's so large at 78 inches by 30 inches. So I actually exceeded it by about 7 pounds of the rated capacity and it handled it no problem. Since I had all 3 of us just sit kind of in the middle, you could definitely see noticeable flex in the bamboo frame. However, when we all jumped off, it just quickly rebounded back and there's no permanent flexing at all. It's quite impressive. If you don't plan on adjusting the desk, it can handle a static weight of 540 pounds, so you can use this as a work table or to keep heavy equipment on top. The desk is also really solid and reliable. So when it's at the lower positions, it's the most stable since the 3-stage adjustment legs aren't fully extended. However, I did extend the legs all the way to the maximum height, 56.1 inches. And yes, I could push and get it to rock a little bit. But to further test that, I actually hung off to the side of it. I tried doing maybe like a little mini pull-up from the side. I'm about 175 pounds. I couldn't get the desk to tilt over. Basically the way the legs are designed, the 4-stage legs or the 4-leg design, it keeps it very planted. Even if you put a lot of weight just in one corner, it's gonna stay stable. I want to talk about standing desks in general. Now, this is my first standing desk, but it's something that's been on my radar for a while, but I've always just prioritized having, the largest or widest desk. And anytime I found an option, it was way out of my budget or, just more than I wanted to pay. However, after using a standing desk, it's something I really wish I got, way earlier, because even though I have a very comfortable chair, I sit a lot and it's just not good. And since I've gotten the desk, I've actually found myself standing way more than I thought I would. Now, for certain activities like typing, I still do prefer to be sitting, but anytime I'm just kind of researching something or taking notes while I'm researching, it's just way more enjoyable to stand instead of sit sit all the time. And sometimes that change of scenery from sitting to standing actually makes you, a little bit more creative. Actually, I've enjoyed the flexibility so much of having a standing desk. I went out and ordered the caster wheels for these so I could just, attach it to the bottom, and just really quickly or on a whim, I could just, unlock the wheels and just wheel the desk to another part in the room. And I could come in handy. Say I want to shoot something and the desk is in the way, well, I could just move that out of the way. If I want a change of scenery, I could just move the desk, to a different wall. It really opens up a ton of versatility with the FlexiSpot system. Now, I have the good fortune of being able to receive a lot of products to review and test, but none have impacted my day-to-day life as much as the FlexiSpot E7 Plus, because this is something that I need to actually interact with every day. Like, I use this every day now. It's, an integral part of my daily activity and setup, and it's something I really wish I had way earlier. If you're someone who's looking for a standing desk, I highly recommend just going out and getting one. I know they're, more expensive than getting a traditional desk, but the amount of versatility that you get, and especially if you go with something like the FlexiSpot system, you can see there's a lot of add-ons, attachments that really let you expand the functionality of it, and just kind of make it exactly how you want it in terms of looks and how it operates. Also, don't forget that FlexiSpot is offering a 15-year warranty on the frame, the motor, and the associated mechanism. So a lot of standard desks don't give you a 15-year warranty. So if you keep the desk for that length of time, it's really not that expensive if you think about it. And then again, with the amount of upgrade options on here, it's something you can always expand in terms of functionality, whether you buy those things directly from FlexiSpot or you get any type of third-party add-on extensions on Amazon, like clamps for shelving or what have you. You can really make this your perfect desk setup. So I'm going to leave some links down below for you to pick up the FlexiSpot E7 Plus for yourself, or to learn a bit more, and definitely spend some time on the FlexiSpot side going through all the different options and configurations. I'm sure you'll find something that you like. If there's anything that I missed, or if you have any additional questions, please leave them down in the comments below and I'll do my very best to get back to you. And if I can ask a huge favor, would you please consider liking and subscribing? It really does help me out as a growing channel, and I'll see you in the next one soon.